Maru Usman and Gilbert Burns will finally get down to business this evening here on BT Sport, or maybe tomorrow morning if you're a pedant. 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, or later this evening, as we bring you UFC 258. Been enjoying this one in the company of Robbie Savage and Rio Ferdinand. Liverpool have scored just one first-half goal in their last 8 games. So it's a sense of déjà vu, isn't it? They're creating the chances, they're not taking the chances.
Yeah, they've had a couple of good chances as well in the first half. I think Mo Salah's been the threat, really, mainly for Liverpool. But they haven't been able to capitalise when they've had an opportunity to come their way. I think in terms of, like, having the end product, that'll be a frustrating element, I'm sure, in the dressing room at half-time from Klopp. The ball eventually gets out here. Wasteful, really, there. And that's not what you normally associate Mo Salah with. And we spoke about that switchboard that Van Dijk would normally do. Henderson pops in there with it. Doesn't get it out of his feet, does he? Doesn't get it out quick enough.
Big chance, wasn't it? Yeah, he's got to hit it quick on there. Half chance. This is the one. Schmeichel. How good's he been, by the way, today? Schmeichel.
Oh, it's the next one's an unbelievable. This is the ridiculous save of ball.
We think it would have been offside had it been scored, but
he doesn't realise. He doesn't know that yet, does he? Schmeichel is still in play. Some arm, that is.
Listen, I want to talk to you as well about Leicester. Some arm. I want to talk to you about Leicester because they've had one shot on target, but when you watch the game, it doesn't feel like that because they've created chances through Jamie Vardy. I suppose similar to Liverpool.
They've done the counter-attack. We see the possession stats there, 37%, but they do look a threat. Talking about Kabak before the game, square on. Those runs there, he's going to have to get used to that in the Premier League. As Maka said in commentary, Danny Ings scored one like that the other week. Once again, this is the header. He hits the target, but he has to generate the power in the header because there's not much pace on the cross. This is a big chance. Just look at that there. Whether he's onside or not, we wouldn't know. But there it's the bar. And then this one. 2v2. Look at that. 4 backs up the park. Can he take it round in there, Ring?
We both screamed in the studio here. Take it round and get it round. It's easy when you sit here, isn't it? It's so easy. It's happening quick. In time, it's very different. But they've had opportunities.
Happier manager at half-time?
Brendan. I think a draw's better for Leicester than for Liverpool.
Agreed.
Agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
OK, right, we're going to take a quick break. More conversation on the other side. Part of the conversation.
Still to come here on NBCSN today. 10 Eastern, the kick-off between Crystal Palace and Burnley, live from Selhurst Park. On NBC at 12:30, it's another top Big Six playing each other. Manchester City against Tottenham. It's Brighton Villa on Peacock Premium from 2:30, and Goal Zone comes your way with all today's goals from 5 until 5:30. And here in the studio with me, Rebecca Lowe, this morning, Robbie Earle and Danny Higginbotham. Well, gentlemen, Robbie and I were talking at half-time that Liverpool had been the better side. Let's bring you the story of the second half, shall we, Robbie? 67 minutes on the clock, and Liverpool go on up, but the assist here is better than the goal. Oh,
it's the assist of the season. Bobby Firmino at his very, very best. Improvisation, touch, skill, vision to know that Mo Salah's there. The feet are outstanding, the touch and flick, and Mo Salah gets his 17th Premier League goal of the season, leads the lead, and Liverpool get the goal. Maybe that their first half play deserved. It's a lovely finish. Look at that flick. I mean, you can't see that enough times. Classic Bobby Firmino. Lovely finish from Salah. Salah bows to him because he knows he'd come. But that was about it for Liverpool, because in the second half, the free kick comes in from Maddison. Now, the flag goes up, and Amati is a player who was judged offside, but you can see that he's through his arm there. It's the foot of Firmino that plays him onside, and so because of that, the goal stood. Leicester City come back 1-1.
Billy Busy Mitchell, man of the match.
Was the man who was desperate for goal. Jamie Vardy missed a couple of chances in the first half, and courtesy of a terrible error by Alisson, it's almost a gift that he certainly couldn't miss. And perhaps dealing with this, I don't know where Alisson's coming from. Comes and makes a collision, doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Jamie Vardy's on hand to stick it into the back of the net, and just kind of sums up Liverpool's form and the way things are going at the moment. That collision between defender and goalkeeper was enough to give Leicester City the opportunity to take the lead in the game. So having been 1-0 down, all of a sudden they find themselves 2-1 up, and Jamie Vardy's getting a tune out of himself. And Bobby Barnes started then come into the game. You're thinking Vardy's got his second, in fairness to Alisson on this occasion. He makes a good save to parry it onto the post. A bit of frustration for Brendan Rodgers on the side of the pitch, but he didn't have to wait long. Similar situation. Barnes again's in on a high line for Liverpool defendingly. It's a turnover from Liverpool. It's that high defending that we talked about in the first half, that high line that Liverpool holds. Barnes is in, finds the back of the net and gives Leicester 3-1. And I'm afraid in losing the title, Jurgen Klopp's losing his mind on the side of the pitch. Been a difficult time for him. For some personal issues as well.
The Jim Beam keys to the match. Is not often that an assist like that is overshadowed, but Leicester's comeback, Danny, absolutely overshadowed that quite remarkable piece of footwork there from Bobby Firmino, and another error from Alisson. What are you putting these defeats now? 3 in a row for Jurgen Klopp's men. They're dropping like a stone. What are you putting down to?
I think when you look at Liverpool, one of the things that stands out for me is that if you look at the last 12 goals they've conceded, they've all been in the second half. Now, we know Henderson's playing at centre-back. We know Fabinho's played at centre-half as well. I look at the midfield three today, Wijnaldum, Jones, Thiago. There's no real leader in there.
Well, it was Milner, but of course he went off injured. Yes. He is a leader, but he went off injured.
He is, but I would still say more often than not, if you haven't got a Henderson in there, if you haven't got a Fabinho in there, I think it's very difficult. And, Robbie, you know as a central midfielder, there's going to be times when you've got to say, we've got to sit. We've got to sit, we've got to protect the defence, because if you look at Leicester's last 2 goals, both from counter-attacks, and that's a huge issue for them, I think, at the moment. When you haven't got Henderson or Fabinho in that central midfield area to dictate the game, to know when to slow the game down, to know when to speed it up, I think it becomes an issue, and then that leads to mistakes.
Fabinho was injured again, but he didn't have to play Henderson at centre-half. He did have Nat Phillips on the bench. Ben Davies did pick up an injury. I mean, are we starting to get to the point where Henderson at centre-half is costing them game after game after game, not because of his play at centre-half, but because of his lack of play in the midfield? I think that's a little bit harsh.
In my view, in terms of the Liverpool and that defensive situation, they still play a high line with back, regardless of who they're playing against. The 2 turnovers that we see and the ball goes in behind, Kabak has come into this team, and in fairness, he's not probably ready yet. But in a high line that